You're still tuned into Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. This is a show where we discuss all the stocks that are buzzing in trade today. And for the market, it's absolutely flat. Although we have recovered from the lowest point of the day, Nifty is now up nearly 10 points as we speak. 25,470 is where it is currently trading. But let's get going with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade today. And first up, we've picked up fertilizer stocks, and the entire pack is in focus on the back of an Economic Times report which suggests that the government has now prohibited fertilizer plants from any kind of disruption this fiscal. So they cannot go ahead and stop functioning of their fertilizer plants. This is on account of lower exports that are being done by China to India. And remember, there is a possibility of a shortage of chemicals going forward and fertilizers going forward, because of which government has gone ahead and barred plant shutdowns of fertilizer companies. In fact, the Department of Fertilizer said, considering the likely demand during the ongoing Kharif and upcoming Rabi season, it is imperative that urea producing units take urgent steps and not plan any shutdown during the current fiscal FY26. So on the back of this update that has come in from the government side and an Economic Times report, all of these stocks continue to be in focus today.
All right, moving on then, let's get on board Vinay Rajani, who's a CMT Senior Technical and Derivative Analyst, HDFC Securities, who's now joining us on the technicals. Hi, thank you so much for joining us, Vinay. Vinay, let's come to your first pick for the day. You have picked out Infosys for us on the charts. Infosys is doing pretty well in today's trading session. It's trading with gains of almost 1% or so. And very soon, the IT pack is also going to come out with its earnings for the first quarter. They're going to be the first ones to come out with the earnings. But that aside, what do you see on the charts for Infosys?
Yeah, good afternoon and thanks for having me on the show. So as you said that these large cap IT companies are ahead of the result season and they are going to come out with the quarterly earnings. So definitely it is a big event and we have to see how it comes out and how guidance comes. But going by the technicals, now the stock is trading around its long-term resistance of 200 days exponential moving average. So the 200-day EMA is placed around 1645. The current level is 1640. So it is hovering around that level for last let's say 1 month, and it is taking resistance there. But if I were to look at the ratio chart, if I go by the performance of IT sector against the Nifty sector, against the Nifty, the long-term ratio chart, long-term monthly ratio chart indicates that the IT should end its underperformance. If we look the year-to-date performance in 2025, IT has given a negative return of almost 6 to 7%, while Nifty has given a positive return of 8%. But going by the ratio chart, it looks like that the charts, but IT divided by Nifty is quite oversold. We can expect mean reversion to happen, and anytime soon we can see a good performance by the IT. And going by the seasonality, July has been the best month for IT sector going by the last 10 years history. In last 10 years, we have seen a July has been the best month in terms of percentage return and in terms of giving a success ratio in terms of positive returns. So everything is suggesting that the seasonality, the ratio charts, and the overall setup is suggesting that IT should show some mean reversion in this year 2025, and we can expect outperformance in the stocks like Infosys, TCS, and HCL Tech. So yes, the bias is on the bullish side and breakout should come on the higher side. And short-term resistance, as I said, around 1650. We need a close above that. Once we see close above 1650 in Infosys, then we can expect a good upside of 8 to 10%.
All right, so that's the tech check coming in for Infosys. But let's move on to the next counter that is in focus today. That is M&M is in focus, because it has come out with its quarter 1 business updates. If you look at the total production, that has seen a jump of 20% to 83,435 units in the month of June, compared with 69,441 units produced in the same period last year. Now, the auto major's total sales stood at 76,335 units in June, registering a growth of 14.2% on a year-on-year basis. Now, the exports also surged 1.42% on a year-on-year basis to 2,634 units in the month of June. It has given up all those morning gains. It has slipped into the red right now. M&M is trading with cuts of more than 0.5%.
Okay, so that's M&M for you. The stock is sitting with a cut of nearly 0.7% as we speak. But Siemens Energy, Kanishka, what's the news flow here and why is the stock buzzing in trade today?
That's right. So Siemens Energy India is in the spotlight after posting a strong Q2 performance with 24% quarterly revenue growth and EBITDA margins holding to that 19.1% level. The power transmission segment was a standout with revenue jumping 21% to 1,014 crore rupees, with margins they expanded to 20.3% levels. Now, even the power generation business, despite margin compression, supported overall growth. Now, following that result, Motilal Oswal has raised FY25 to 27 earnings estimates by 13%, 6% and 8% respectively for the years, and reaffirmed a buy rating with a revised target price of 3,300 rupees, citing a strong transmission and distribution opportunity. Now, despite that positive outlook, Siemens Energy has been trading with cuts of about 1% today.
All right, moving on then to the next counter. Vinay, you have picked out JSW Steel for us. Now, JSW Steel, is also in focus, on the back of news flow. But tell us, what are you penciling in on the charts for JSW Steel?
Yeah, so the stock is into a primary uptrend, and we have seen that metal also did very well in last week and right now consolidating. So it is one of the metal stock which is look stronger on the chart, hovering around its all-time high, and the, as I said, primary trend has been good. So obviously, technical setup is quite good, and it looks like that it should do well. And the immediate resistance for the counter is around its all-time high, which is 1072. So that is the only resistance I see, and that setup is quite good, and stock is likely to outperform. As far as support is concerned, I think the short-term support is around 1010, which is the previous swing low. So I'm expecting this stock to do well, and in fact we are expecting this entire metals and mining space to do well positionally next 3 to 6 months. So positional view on the metal sector is positive, and JSW Steel is one of the leader in that, and in hovering around its all-time high. So definitely investors should continue to hold on to it, and one should increase the exposure in the metal space in their portfolio. It looks like that, and JSW Steel, which is one of the stock which is looking strongest on the chart.
Okay, so that's JSW Steel on the charts, but JSW Infra is also in focus. Rabinder, I believe this is on the back of an order win. How big is the order?
Well, yes, JSW Infra is in focus. The company has received a letter of award from Shama Prasad Mukherjee Port Authority for the reconstruction of berth 8 and mechanization of berth 7 and 8 at Netaji Subhash Dock, Kolkata. And the project awarded on the design, build, finance, operate and transfer basis under the PPP model, and is aimed at enhancing container handling capacity at the port. The project comes with a 30-year concession period and aligns with JSW Infrastructure strategy to expand its terminal portfolio under the government's port privatization initiative. And this is with an estimated capex of rupees 740 crore and a construction timeline of 2 years. The company will also be able to commence operation during the construction phase, leveraging Kolkata's cargo volumes. And post completion, the project is expected to significantly enhance both capacity and operational efficiency. So back of this news, JSW Infrastructure is in focus, and the stock is holding a gain of more than 1.5%.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere after the break. We'll get you some more buzz on the other side. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, and let's get going with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade today based on news piece or based on technical reports. But Kanishka, NLC India, this is a stock that you picked for us. Tell us what's the news flow here.
That's right. So NLC shares are buzzing after the company announced a major investment and funding plans in its renewable energy business. The board has approved an investment of up to 1,630 crore rupees in its wholly owned subsidiary, that is NLC India Renewables, to support future clean energy growth. Additionally, the company will also raise a term loan in Japanese yen equivalent to $100 million via external commercial borrowing via SMBC. Now, these funds will be used for capex in renewable projects undertaken through its subsidiaries and group companies. And that's why the stock is in spotlight today.
Alright, so that's NLC India for you, but let's shift focus to Utkarsh Small Finance Bank then. The bank has received no objection certificate from NSE for scheme of amalgamation of Utkarsh Core Invest Limited with Utkarsh Small Finance Bank. So on the back of this update that the company has come out with, the stock continues to be in focus today, although today it is gaining nearly 0.3% as we speak.
All right, moving on from Utkarsh Small Finance Bank to Big Boy Reliance. Vinay, you picked that Reliance for us on the charts. Tell us, what do you see on this particular counter? Because in the last few weeks, it is in fact in the last 6 months, it has moved up quite a bit. It gains of almost 22%. Do you see an upward momentum to continue?
Yes, in fact, majority of the large caps have started performing. Reliance is a big name and going very well for last 4-5 months. The all-time high is placed at 1609 and the current price is 1532. So there is a good probability that it will cross that high because the relative strength is quite good on the charts, on the weekly and monthly charts, and the entire sector has been doing good. So not only Reliance but other oil and gas space has been doing good. The telecom sector has been doing good. So overall sentiments are positive and large caps are outperforming mid cap and small cap, the broader market right now, and it looks like that in the coming days we can see that happening. If we are expecting Nifty to hit an all-time high, then stock like Reliance can participate well in this rally. So yes, overall large caps is likely to outperform in the short term. Reliance is one of the stock from which we can expect outperformance to come, and I'm expecting that it will soon cross its previous all-time high, which is around 1609. Support I would like to share here is for the short term to positional trader. I think 1470 is a strong base from where it got a breakout. Now that previous resistance is likely to interchange its role as a support. So 1470 for short-term trader, I would suggest a stop loss or you can say a support also for the Reliance. But overall setup is quite good and the stock is likely to do well.
Setup is quite good and the stock is likely to do well. That's the word coming in for big boy Reliance Industries. But shifting focus to the real estate sector then, Phoenix Mills, Rabinder, it came out with its operational update, isn't it?
Well, yes, on the back of their Q1 operational update, Phoenix Mill is in focus, where company said that the retail sales saw a growth of 12% on a year-on-year basis, and strategic repositioning is underway across the Phoenix Market City portfolio, and the trading occupancy stood at 89% versus 91% on a sequential basis. For the commercial segment, company said that the gross leading of 4.7 lakh square feet in Q1, and occupancy in the operational asset at Mumbai and Pune stood at 69% as compared to 67% year-on-year basis. So back of this business update, Phoenix Mill is in focus and the stock is holding a gain of approx 1.5%.
All right, the Phoenix Mills on the back of operational updates coming in, but moving on to the next counter, that is Castrol, that is in focus. Now, Castrol on Monday announced the appointment of Mrinalini Srinivasan as the Chief Financial Officer, or the CFO. Srinivasan, who's been appointed to the post, is effective from 28th of July, who succeeds Dipesh Bakshi, who's moved on from the role in March 2025 to pursue other opportunities. That's what the company said in an exchange filing. In her current role, Srinivasan will lead the Castrol India's financial function and be a key member of the leadership team, according to the company. And on the back of that, Castrol is in focus today, has declined from the day's highs. In fact, it is trading towards the day's lowest point right now with cuts of 1.9%.
Okay, so that's Castrol India for you, down nearly 2% as we speak. But shifting focus to cement major Ultratech Cement then, Vinay, what do charts indicate for this counter?
Yes, Ultratech Cement is one of the stock in the large cap which is at its all-time high. If I go by the history of last 10 to 12 months, the stock was facing a resistance around 12,200. Now that 12,200 resistance, this is the multi-month breakout we can say, because for last 10 months the stock was not able to cross this 12,200 level, and now in this month we can see that it is comfortably trading about 12,200. So the setup is quite good. Cement of late we saw that many mid-cap cement also participated well, and Ultratech Cement grasping this sector and the group has done exceptionally well, and this is the large cap cement company which is trading at its all-time high. Majority of the view will come once the quarterly results comes out, but the technically trend is clearly into a bullish trend, and 12,200 has been taken out, and that will act as a short-term support as well. So one of the strongest stock in the large cap, and if markets were to sustain at higher level, then definitely this stock will do well.
All right, the Ultratech Cement on the charts, but Ravinder, let me come to you for yet another real estate counter, and that is Lodha on the back of its quarter one updates. Tell us, what do the numbers look like?
Lodha has come out with the Q1 FY26 number, and pre-sales stood at 4,450 crore as compared to 4,030 crore, with an uptick of 10% on a year-on-year basis. And if we talk about collection, then collection also saw an uptick of 7%. And companies say that the geopolitical tension led to loss of activity for 2 weeks, which the company will make up, and company remain on track to achieve the FY26 guidance. They expect collection to be significantly higher in H2 as compared to H1, and Lodha added 5 new projects across MMR, Pune and Bangalore with the GDV of 22,700 crore, which is more than 90% of the full year guidance of 25,000 crore. So back of this business update, Lodha is in focus.
Okay, so Lodha is in focus, down 0.7% as we speak. But let's keep it going with the real estate sector then. Kanishka, you've picked up Sobha for us. Is this also on the back of operational updates for the quarter gone by?
That's right. Sobha is also in focus because of a strong business update for its Q1. And the firm has reported the highest ever sales for the quarter. The overall sales for the quarter stood at 2,078 crore rupees. This is against 1,873 crore in the previous year in the similar quarter. And the company has also achieved a new milestone by crossing 2,000 crore rupees worth of sales in a single quarter. And this performance was led by the launch of Sobha Aurum in Greater Noida, which witnessed strong demand in the launch week itself. Now, total sales for the quarter was supported by 1.44 million square feet of new sales area across Sobha's operational markets at an average realization of 14,300 rupees per square feet. Now, apart from the Noida project, Bangalore, that maintained a stable contribution of 602 crore rupees, followed by Bangalore and Noida. Gurgaon, Kochi, Tamil Nadu and Gift City also reported very strong sales. Now, following the update, the stock is marginally up in trade today.
Sobha for you up 0.4% as we speak, but let's shift focus to Concor then. This one is also in focus on the back of operational updates, where volumes for the quarter gone by have risen by about 11.3% on a year-on-year basis to come in at 12,90,000 units. Now remember, export-import data or units rose by about 12% YOY, while domestic volumes also saw an uptick of about 9% on a year-on-year basis. So on the back of this operational data for the quarter gone by, this stock continues to remain in focus, although it is sitting with a cut of nearly 0.7% as we speak.
Alright, that's Concor on the back of that news flow. But coming to you, Rabinder, Tata Motors is the counter that you picked out for us. Again, operational updates coming in. Take us through what the numbers are.
Jaguar has come out with the Q1 operational update, and for the wholesale data, sales declined to 11% year-on-year basis and 22% down on a sequential basis to 87,826 units. And the decline reflects the planned wind down of legacy Jaguar models and a pause in shipment to US during the April 25 following the introduction of the US import tariff. And UK was impacted due to Jaguar model rundown. For the sales segment, the company said that the sales declined to 15% year-on-year basis and down 13% on a quarter-on-quarter basis to 94,420 units. And China has witnessed a marginal improvement in comparison to double-digit decline in the last 2 quarters. So back of this operational Jaguar operational update, Tata Motors is in focus.
Okay, so Tata Motors in focus in the back of that. But Kanishka, Rabinder, Vinay, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here today on ET Now and discussing all the stocks that are buzzing in trade today. But that's all the time we have on this edition of the show. Closing trades will take all the market action forward. Stay tuned.